Hello, brightly shining soul. We're looking at messages for you. This could be from your higher self, your spirit team, your ancestors, or the higher self of someone really important to you right now. We have 3 piles here: Uranus, Saturn, and Gemini. Just pick the pile that you feel guided to. As a whole, this reading is going to be a reflection of the energies for the collective right now. Specifically, Lightworker, Star-Seasoned, Spiritual Warriors. So if you need a minute to pick your pile, you can pause right now. Otherwise, I'm going to move forward with pile 1. All right, so pile 1, Uranus, change and new beginnings. Let's get started with what's going on for you. What's a message from you, from a higher power? Child. Okay, so I do feel like you are birthing something new, whether this is an actual child or something you don't see yet. So I feel like this is kind of one of those scenarios where, you know, the person doesn't realize that they're in the middle of a pregnancy or in the middle of birthing something new. And by this point, they're already kind of like almost midway through the pregnancy. So I feel like there's something happening behind the scenes for you that's very powerful that you're birthing that you might not have been aware to. I feel like there have been some things that might have alluded to that you are birthing something new, but you probably couldn't really tell. Couldn't really tell. 3 of Cups. And the reason is because you haven't been around enough people to see this slight change in you or this difference in you. So I feel like, you know, for example, I'm going to keep talking about pregnancy, but whether you're male or female, you're birthing something new, but it's like you didn't know you were in the middle of birthing this big thing. And you could have probably had hints, but you're like, but, you know, like that, you kind of like, wrote it off as it could have been, you know, this thing or the other thing. But if you had some people around you, some good friends around you that haven't seen you for a while or, you know, paid attention to these aspects in your life in more detail than you might have, they would have been able to tell you. Spirit says that you don't have, that you might not have these friends that would be able to pick up on these kinds of details around you specifically right now. Interesting. So they're coming in. So I'm getting at least a few people coming in that are going to be able to notice things like this, like these kind of shifts that would happen in your life. Whereas people in your life previously probably wouldn't have picked up on this, or if you wrote it off, they would have wrote it off with you. You know, someone who kind of just like agrees with you or doesn't pay too much attention to you. Whereas these friends would then be like, no, something's off. No, something is definitely happening. And they'd be able to tell you. So I feel like that's what's happening here. Okay, so we're doing a little bit of like the shadow is complete. This is a timeless reading, but at the time that I'm reading this, we just had a Uranus Kazemi, and then Saturn is moving into Aries, which is a really big deal during Gemini season 2025. So let's see if there's kind of a betrayal. Okay, so you just completed a cycle of, it wasn't like a harsh betrayal, but I do sense that there were opportunities with friends before, whether it was business opportunities or a like living situation, moving to a certain place, starting something new, a new project, or something of that sort that fell through. Maybe, you know, one or a few times in your life. And that's what's ending. So I do feel that something, so it wasn't like a harsh betrayal, because even the way that this card fell, like I feel like you have this sort of acceptance that like whatever fell through with, I'm getting specific friends because this Three of Cups is coming up as like strong friend energy. Opportunities to work on big life things with friends in the past fell through. That is the cycle that has ended for you, like very recently, like yesterday. The Empress. And the thing is, at this point, you kind of done so much healing, because like healing begins with acceptance and forgiveness. You never held it against these past friends for not following through in the way that you wish they would have. And so, you didn't know that you had to heal this within you because you never faulted your friends. You're just like, this happens, you know, like you care for your friends so much. Like, it's okay that this didn't work out. You're living your life now, and you continue growing and healing. And so your energy now with this Empress is far beyond what it would have been if you started those projects with those friends. So it might have felt like, oh, just a missed opportunity, or it didn't work out, you know, that's fine. I wish them well. But it's because you were not meant to have those opportunities. Those were very ingrained long-term opportunities. And if you did it with those certain friends in the past, it wouldn't have fulfilled you as much as whatever is coming through for you now, because you're in a much, much higher energy from going through the healing process without that stability and security with that long-term project with those friends. Does that make sense? Okay, Bliss, cherishing the day, and it fell in reverse. Yeah, so if you can tell, I picked purposely these very slightly darker, golden themed cards. This one's like surging through with the blue and sunset in the back here. It's a dragon playing with a flying mermaid. Flying dragon. It's not a flying mermaid, it's a flying dragon. Interesting. I definitely do feel like you're going to be reaching new heights. This is something that's coming through very strongly. I feel like whatever this healing journey was for, it felt like you might have been kind of missing out, like, oh yeah, I could see myself living that life or that path. And the path that you're meant to live is so far beyond and higher than anything you could have imagined, that at this point, if you're in this place where you kind of like push everything aside, had all these opportunities be skipped on, you know you're meant for something different, something beyond the things that you could imagine now, right? So like that's what I'm getting at. And at this point, you would have confidence in knowing that, oh, you're prepped for something different then, you know, watching all these opportunities kind of go by, that like the universe has something bigger and better planned for you. It's always the case. And that opportunity, you think that opportunity was good for you, or maybe it would have been the right fit at the time. Like the universe has something bigger than you could imagine, and it's appearing in your life now. It is because you had a test recently that showed you that you are ready to believe. You're not pouting there, feeling sad about the missed opportunities in your life and what you could have had, what you could have lived. You are now understanding that something much bigger and better than you could have imagined is coming through. So that is your final test. Otherwise, you're looped back. Something bigger and better is, in fact, coming in for you now. Okay, so let's see what else this beautiful higher power wants to relay to you. Legacy, persistence. Yeah, this is going to be your legacy. This is the long-term thing you were meant to have. A lot of these other opportunities that have come through before, you might have liked, you know, working with your friend or working with these people or working with this idea, this passion project, but you would have been stuck in it. it would have been something that you did for the rest of your life, and you would have kept with it. What you were meant to do for the majority of your life, or the long term, is something far beyond that of which your previous friends could have ever imagined or even been capable of. This is what you were training yourself for, and this is what you are, where you are at now. Okay, this is feeling a little stuck. Okay, there's a little bit of a stuck energy. Reflection and the devil. I do feel like the only thing that is like really troublesome right at this point is this feeling of always thinking and not being able to live out, take action, doing. And so Spirit is coming through very strongly, saying that everything is happening naturally, organically. If this pile resonates with you, you can tell that there's big shifts happening in your life. And going with the astrology, that you'll probably see big shifts happening, continue to happen in your life. And at this point in your life, you know, like, you can see the higher perspective. If anything seems quote unquote negative shifts, it's just, you know, there's a big positive reason why this shift is happening, better than you could have imagined. And it's happening. It's already started happening, and it's going to continue happening for the next month, I'm getting. Yes, the next month. And 15 has been very relevant. I don't know how so yet, but like in 15 is the number of change, right? And adds up to a 6, which is harmony. 1 is creating something new. 5 is shifting and changing something. Okay, so the reason this comes up as like a devil energy is because something in your life didn't resonate with you anymore, and you might have a hard time letting go of it because you put a lot of work into it, or a lot of energy, or it meant something to you. You've had it in your life for a very long time, this connection, this situation, this whatever it is. And it feels like the devil energy because you have to let go of it. And sometimes it doesn't feel right to let go of something that was so comforting and that was your go-to. But at some point you have to realize, like, this isn't working. I have to go in a completely new direction. And I feel like this is happening in your life in a small way right now, but it's going to lead to something bigger. But something isn't working, and you definitely have to step in a new direction. Okay. So let's see, what is this shadow aspect that you're leaving? Numbness. Yeah, when I felt that like 4 of Swords come out in reverse, I feel like it feels like you've been having to feel uncomfortable in an energy of not knowing for too long, to have to be comfortable with just radical changes continuously happening in your life, loops of events that lead to the same things, or inner work, like one thing after another. Like, it's kind of like, all right, it's that time of thinking, the time of just feeling, just the time of just being in that spiritual energy is over. You're meant to, you know, live a more very physical life in this lifetime. Physical life is just as spiritual as the unseen things. There is energy in everything, and you're meant to combine the two at some point. And so you're kind of done just kind of observing, healing, and doing the unseen things. And it's like ready to kind of come out into this new energy. Okay. Knight of Swords. There is some sort of action you're going to be taking, whether this is saying something, or I feel like this action is taking a chance, taking an action, taking an opportunity, or saying something outwardly to others or to the public, in regards to what exactly? The Star. Okay, so I'm getting that you might not know when you say this or how you say this, but it is going to be something that you say that brings a whole new dimension to your life. So this is you just being authentic, living your best life, and then something comes through, something that you say and something that you do just takes you to another level. And you're just acting as yourself, you're just being yourself. Someone notices, someone is headhunting, someone sees an opportunity within you. You bring forth an opportunity unknowingly. You're just acting as yourself, being authentic, just being who you are. And then what you say or what you do is picked up and throws you into a new life, in a positive way. But it's just kind of like, it happens naturally and organically. It's just something that you do because it's just who you are now. You're shining your light naturally. And that's what people are craving authentically nowadays. So like, you're not even trying to pretend. You're not even trying to put your stuff out there. You're not like even, for example, trying to create content or speak in a different way in front of people, or try to be witty or creative or whatever, or do something that people would like creatively, or you're not saying things for the sake of knowing that it'll get attention because people will like to hear those buzzwords. You're doing something because it's naturally who you are. It's some sort of action or something that you say, someone notices or someone takes off with it, and you are thrown in a different world the next day, overnight kind of thing. Save some confirmation and we'll wrap this reading up. Yeah, we got Pluto and Capricorn. Oh, and then Libra in the middle. Something is balancing out. A beautiful mind. Yeah, so your mind, your ideas, your vision is being appreciated. It's helping to get out. It's helping that you're getting out of the shadow and into a boss phase. So it definitely feels like you had your era. So Pluto has been in Capricorn for the past couple of decades. I think it was 15 years, right? And so you might have been someone who was deeply influenced by Pluto being in Capricorn, and will be deeply influenced with Pluto being now in Aquarius. It feels like you might have been tortured in your mind. You might have had to go through a lot of suffering, a lot of tower moments, dark night of the souls, dark experiences that you had to learn and grow from, specifically you for some reason. Because I feel like this shift with Pluto going into Aquarius, into at the end of 2024 for good, into 2025, and beyond for the next couple of decades. This is something, this legacy you're going to create is, for the next 20 years, you're going to be working on this. So whatever this is, it's going to be with the right people. Whatever didn't work out before, it was not meant to work out. It's going to happen spontaneously. Something you say or some action you take naturally, just because that's who you are now, a very healed, very brightly shining soul, is going to resonate with some folks or the collective. And because you're in this very Empress energy, whether you're male or female, your spirituality shines. The way that you think, your beautiful mind, and the way that you think about life, your visions for the future, your visions for a daily life is really resonant and something that people crave and need at this time. And so you're going to see kind of an overnight kind of stardom with, whether in a small way or a very big way, but it is something that is going to allow you to take more physical action in your soul mission and your life purpose. It's just going to come about naturally and organically. And I feel like you've been feeling this shift come about, and you just needed some sort of reminder. All right, Pile 1, I hope you enjoyed your reading. If you did, I really appreciate a comment. And with that, I hope you have a beautiful rest of the day, and I wish you much love and light. Hey, beautiful pile 2 with the Saturn card. So there's significant things happening with Pluto and Saturn simultaneously. It has been kind of linked together for the past few years. You can see this huge change in consciousness. You can see this more like spiritual ideology and beliefs, people being more open-minded coming on. So Pluto is going retrograde in May 2025 and is going to go move forward in the fall. And Saturn is going into Aries in May, which is really significant because it's like starting a whole new cycle, which could signify building whole new structures or belief systems. And it goes retrograde in July into Pisces for a little bit. So it's kind of like where all the things that we've been through for our spiritual awakening in the recent like decade or two, it's like we're ready to kind of bring it on to the planet now. But then we're also going to go back into Pisces a little bit to kind of like be like, oh yeah, these are the lessons I learned. Like if I had to summarize all the inner work that I did or all the things that I think are important for whoever's awakening now, bringing it through for new projects and new soul missions over the summer around July when Saturn goes retrograde back and moves forward again in November in the fall. So you can see that around the summer and fall, there's going to be a huge uptick in people pursuing their soul missions and starting their soul missions fully in the physical. So yeah, let's see what's the specific message for you right now. What's the specific message for you? The Tower, yeah. Government, building things. Isolation, authority, government, ego. Okay. And there's also a definite energy of like you might be kind of meeting up with a lot more people through networking. And you might be getting a lot from you guys that new people are coming in and new folks you can work with in different levels and different interests, different passions and in different capacities. But there is this kind of unexpected, it's like we're still going to be a little bit solo for the rest of this year, for a lot of this year, even though you're going to be meeting with a lot more people, networking, and they're going to see this new energy in you. They're going to see this like 5D energy version of you. There's a part of you that is still transitioning out of the 4D, 3D. And so you're going to want to spend a lot of time alone. Because even though front facing, you're doing a lot of work that's exciting and finding a lot of new people that you resonate with, it's going to be exhausting because you're still kind of not exhausting. It's just going to be like you want to kind of transition out of the old peacefully. And even though at this point you're like over the threshold, you're already in the 50% more 5D energies than not. While you kind of fully integrate yourself into these new energies, you're still kind of letting go of the past. So if it took you like a year, if it took you a few years, that's how long it's going to be until you fully kind of transition out of the past energy, the old energy. And so although you're meeting a lot of new people and you might feel like you're ready to socialize and work together with others in a bigger capacity, it's still going to feel like you will want to spend a lot of time alone, just kind of dealing with your old energies and transitioning out of that. Your old comforts, which is totally normal. And I think that's something you might have not expected because when you're with other people, you're vibing, you're having fun. But there's going to be a feeling in the beginning that you're still kind of wanting to hold on to your old comforts a little bit less every day for the next like 1 or few years, right? Until you fully transition out. Fortunately, I am getting the timeline that you are going to be meeting these people in the summer and the fall. And by the fall and winter of this year, the end of this year, you are going to be on the Gregorian calendar. You are going to have well-established roots and structure to whatever new projects you are starting. And then by next year, you might be even ready to kind of move further along in your connections that you've formed friendships, business relationships, and even romantic ones. So it does feel like it's just the universe kind of easing you into these energies and moving you forward in these energies. Okay. So Four of Swords, yeah, that has been like a theme. Kind of getting you more into doing rather than kind of doing a lot of inner work and relaxing. I feel like a lot of light workers, starseeds, spiritual warriors have been kind of, not spiritual warriors, but light workers, starseeds, people who are going through their spiritual journey have been spending more time kind of going within. And now you're going to be spending more time channeling those ideas and visions outwardly and being more in the physical realm, but like more balanced because you're in a spiritual and physical energy balance, but kind of getting used to that. And so that's kind of like the energy I'm getting strongly with you. Okay, so let's see. What shadow aspect have you completed and moved out of? And what is that going to do for you? Judgment. I definitely feel like you might not admit this, but you might have been judging others because you've been, harshly judging yourself. A lot of light workers, starseeds are sensitive souls and are very, very empathic. And there is no one that judges us more than ourselves, right? And so we kind of show that outwardly towards others. And it's very hard to explain to people. It's like you're very high EQ, right? Very high emotional intelligence. But at the same time, you're also very human. And you will take so much until you can't take it in anymore. And so even if you go to your spiritual friends and kind of be like, I'm dealing with this impossible situation or person or group, and it's driving me up the wall, like it's hard for them, like it's hard for your spiritual friends to understand that, right? Because they're like, yeah, but I understand it from their point of view. It's like, duh, you don't think I've dissected a million times away, a million ways already? Like I could see that. But the thing that empaths need to learn the most is that people just want you to be there with you emotionally. The purpose of an empath is that you can feel what the other person is feeling. And you're not trying to logically give them a solution or even play devil's advocate with them. You're just trying to hold space and be in that emotion and feel with them and feel sometimes for them, because it's hard for someone to hold and feel that emotion by themselves. And so we kind of get away from that sometimes. A lot of us light workers, starting from that very empathic beginning, that like the purpose of us having empathy, strong empathy, is to be with some people when they're feeling that. Our problem was that we felt too much for other people, where we constantly were running ourselves dry, burning ourselves out. So it's kind of like getting back to that phase. It was like, imagine in 5D where you have unlimited replenishment of your energies, and you can constantly just hold space for people and feel with them without the worry that you'll not have enough energy to replenish yourself later, which is a different, like that's going to be a challenging thing for people to transition from, right? Like you gave so much of yourself that you like almost, diminished all your energies and your ability to even sustain yourself, because people were asking too much of you, and because you were so giving, and because you constantly gave your cup away. And to be in an energy where now you're going to be constantly replenished so much that you can now sit with others and feel their emotions with them, or help them through their emotions. So if you've been feeling a lot of judgment from even your very resonant, high frequency friends, it's probably the two of you are reflecting that in each other. So just be aware. Okay, so let's pull out this message and go to the next. the Four of Pentacles, the earthly plane. Yeah. So you can feel that like a lot of spiritual folks, we kind of went into a very highly spiritual place because like that's where we felt safe. That's where we felt like hugs from our spirit guides and angels, and we're allowed the safe space to work out our emotions and trauma and feelings and any issues that we were having. We created a safe space with our higher aspect, with the higher plane. But it's now time to come back to the earthly plane. And yeah, there's a lot of low frequency things, or not even low frequency things, because there's low frequency things that are out there that are like cool, very spiritual, like trees that are very, very grounded, and they have that very earthly energy. But it's a very, very pleasant grounded energy to be in. But there's a lot of unpleasant earthly energies that are out there that we kind of conflate the two. It's like, no, physical energies are supposed to be very, very grounding and very peaceful. And these like man-made physical earthly plane things that ground us in an unhealthy way are the chaotic version of these things, you know? The High Priestess of Reverse. It's time to ground that knowing. It's time to ground your wisdom, your light, in a physical way. Because you've done it in an energetic way, but it's like, now it's time to build these systems, right? Let's see what Spirit wants to tell you about what you're grounding. Effort. Conquering your demons. So you've conquered your demons internally, and now it's time to conquer them externally. You're ready to take on big systems, big entities in the physical. Wow. You're going to be taking on big things. Wow. You have the power for it, for sure. The strength. The fortitude and the wisdom. You would be guided all the way. You'd be very, very supremely protected. You're meant to take on bigger things. Okay, so you are meant to become a spiritual warrior. You're meant to fight with your energy in very, very big ways. There's a lot of light workers who are taking on more passive roles, you know, who are dealing with, you know, helping other people heal, other people kind of work through their traumas or work through their identity and, you know, work on their passion projects. But there's some light workers and starseeds who are meant to come on here and be spiritual warriors and literally fight and, you know, take on big physical structures. And they're of a different breed. They were prepped in a different way. This is also a time where a lot of your spiritual friends that you've had for a long time might be going in separate directions depending on their life purpose. So you might see that you and your friends are kind of going in separate directions just because you're going to be taking on different things. I just think you specifically, Pile 2, might have not been ready or understood what you might be taking on. I think you might have been just like, I'm okay with the hobbit lifestyle, you know, like easy breezy, give me like the beautiful nature scenery and an easygoing day creating. And then like what Spirit had in store for you was much more powerful than I think you even imagined for yourself. I think you didn't even care for it. You're like, I don't even want to anymore. You like release the judgment. It's like, hey, I'm ready to just be like, you know, a wallflower. I don't mind just like living out in the middle of nowhere, just doing my own thing, helping people that pass by. No, you're meant to be very active in your purpose. Wow. Material happiness. Are you serious? So we have earthly power and material happiness. Yeah, you're supposed to make move. You're supposed to create waves, earthquakes. Like, you are meant to shake things up. You are a powerhouse. Wow, I'm getting kind of psyched. Like, what is this? What is your energy? It's powerful. All right, incredible. Let's see. What else are you kind of moving past in a very big way? Envy and rejection. You were rejected a lot because people were envious of your energy, because people were envious of certain aspects about you, maybe the way that you were raised, certain, maybe you had some family member connections or friendships that you might have taken for granted, but other people didn't. Maybe some looks or your smarts or your personality or your wit, your humor, your interests, your passions, your ability to just find things fascinating or be curious about things and dive deeply into things. There's some sort of this isn't just from one place. Almost everyone that has come by your path, almost everyone. Wow, that's okay. Wow, almost everyone that has come by your path have had this slight bit of rejection towards you because they were envious. I'm not saying everyone, but in some way, you have had to deal with this energy in a very strong way for a very long time. It's been kind of like a very powerful dark cloud that has been over you that you just kind of have managed to live with. It's like someone who has like chronic pain. It's like one that doesn't have like a cure yet or something or any kind of remedy, and you just kind of like learn to live with it. But it's like you get used to it, but it's like still like incredibly heavy and painful, You've just kind of learned to live with it, and that is the cloud that is being lifted. Wow. And look out, world, because imagine the stuff that you've done with this incredible, powerful, not natural. This was definitely like a dark cloud that was placed on you. It was interjected. I'm getting it was not meant. It wasn't written in your soul contract. It wasn't written in your destiny, but someone had placed it there. It's a very powerful energy, but because you've had to experience that very powerful dark cloud that was something beyond your control, you've grown stronger than your original destiny life path had for you. And you are now meant and prepared for something much, much greater in your life. So, wow. Wasn't expecting that. That's incredible. Okay, too many cards are coming out, as you can see. They continue to come out. Okay, 8 of Wands. So things are moving very quickly. This is a new dawn. And expect to see things happen very quickly in the next few months for you. The next couple of months. Yeah, but it continues. So next few months. So things are going to move very rapidly. And you know this is your pile if they already have started moving very quickly in your life. Not just the past month, but you could probably see it in the past month very strongly. But even the past 6 months. Things moving and changing very quickly, very rapidly, and very obviously in your life in physical ways. Things are being set up for you. I feel like your energy was this wasn't the destiny you came in with, but this is the destiny you're leaving with. Your soul is more of a wanderer, so I do see that you could be a starseed or a very old soul coming in to kind of do something for the collective, do something that is a much grander, bigger part of you. And you were going to play a much smaller part in this, whatever it was going to be playing out. But because this happened, and the universe was kind of just let's see if this person steps up to the challenge if they want this, because this wasn't part of the plan, but they're proving us wrong every step of the way that they could handle a stronger and bigger destiny. You are, I'm getting The universe is star child, golden child, because you aren't meant for this destiny, and you're proving to be more worthy and valuable than even the universe expected. Wow. Okay. Okay, so how might you see this come through soon? Scythe. Harvest. Warning. I do get the sense that like you're the Grim Reaper here. You're ready to like chop down some energies that are no longer good. Like you're coming in with a big weapon and a very powerful presence. Like I've arrived and I'm about to like get some stuff done, you know? Whoa. I did not expect that. That is wild. Let's let's close out this energy and see. Let's wrap up this reading, see what you can expect in this next few months. Ninth house, learning and faith. And fourth house, home and family. So I could definitely see with the fourth house and the Four of Pentacles here, I think the unexpected energy that you might get here is a sense of home, feeling home. Whatever's coming in for you right now, and I'm definitely going to feel like it's at least a few things. You're going to definitely feel in your element more so than you ever have before, which I think is very crucial because I feel like there's a lot of things that like kind of you were meant to do, but they kind of, I feel like there's like a parallel life living like before this dark cloud, and you kind of sense that throughout your life there are things that you might have felt like you should have experienced or probably could have, you know, like you felt like, oh, like I feel like that was supposed to be my life or something, but your life got changed, and you know, you've come out in this new energy, and the energy of like comfort that you might have were supposed to feel in the life you're meant to have, I feel like it's gonna come to you now. There was a dark cloud. There was, whether it was like black magic or something nefarious from more powerful nefarious beings, dark beings, or energies. There was that dark cloud lifted. Now that you're in the 5D, I feel like they might have circled you a little bit more while you're entering this new phase. But you're going to feel a sense of home and comfort that you probably never felt in your entire life being a black sheep. Wow, the channelings that are coming through, they're very concise. Okay. And then lastly, the ninth house, learning and faith. I definitely do feel that you might have had a destiny of some sort of spiritual kind of life, but I don't think you expected, or even the universe expected, you to kind of come out the other end this powerful. And you're gonna be learning a very, very high level psychic gift or spiritual teachings that you are going to be you're going to have a hand in profoundly grounding into this reality, into this collective. Sage, like I'm getting you know, in this modern world, it kind of looks differently than we probably might think of in the old world, which was just like, even in recent times, so many changes have happened. We're in a new energy now, but even with these like gurus and like shamans and people who think they are like, I don't know, people who think they're I don't know, people who think they're in that energy. In this modern world, like, it's hard to decipher people who just say their things and people who are actually those things, like gurus and shamans. Like, you have to have very special gifts and be very, very powerful. You can't just, no, not everyone can just call themselves those things. And I feel like there's like a new modern version of spirituality coming through, and you can tell the people who are meant to lead that. You know, there's definitely people who have the power, who have the wisdom, who have the insight, who have the unique insight. People nowadays just regurgitate things that other people say. No, this is unique insight. You were chosen, you were picked to bring this new form of understanding of the unseen world onto this planet. All right, pile 2. So I hope that clarified them things. Didn't want to. It's a big energy. It's not meant to scare. It's meant to revitalize, rejuvenate, and bring some clarity. And kind of give you a heads up that something very powerful might be happening. Might not have been something you did not expect for yourself, but can understand it now with your transformation. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you did, I really appreciate a comment. And with that, I hope you have a beautiful rest of the day, and I wish you much love and light. Hi, beautiful pile 3 with a Gemini card. So this energy is going to be more like a shorter energy. So it could last for, like, for example, Gemini season. So like about like a month or so. It could be highlighting a specific moment in your life, that aspect of within yourself, or just a time where saying something is meaningful, whether it's in your passion project or your career or in a relationship, or just in your life in general, your social life, or being more coming out of your shell a little bit more in a certain way, might be significant. And so this is more of a short-term energy, covering about a month, I'm getting. So let's see what this message is for you is about. The Cross. So having faith, duty, burden. Okay, so I am getting that, like, while all these big transitions are happening in your life, there is a part of you that is kind of feeling dutiful or responsible to connect with a lot of things in your past. So let's see, 36 here. It's the last card actually of this deck. It has to do with guilt, destiny, religion, grief. So we're gonna get rid of this first of all. Any guilt that you have about moving on from people in your past life, or moving on for any entity like a workplace or a project that you've worked on, or a living space or something like that, a group of friends, whatever it is, like, do not feel guilty. In fact, you might have completely cut these things off, and you probably had to do that in some sort of way, mentally, emotionally, or even physically, to let your energy, your spirit, your soul know that you are completely done with that cycle of your life and you're ready for new, whether it's having new relationships with these past things or new relationships completely that are completely new that you haven't seen before, or, you know, energies of people, even if they come back from your past, that it's a new version of that relationship, right? So you probably have already done the cutting off thing, cutting off these old things, and you're probably feeling like, should I connect with them again, even though my life is making big moves forward, I'm making huge moves forward, there's a lot of transformation happening, and I don't want it to stop because I'm going back. You're not going to be going back. You already cut it off, and mentally, emotionally, physically, you've already moved on. Now you can gently, harmoniously, in a new energy, connect with those folks from the past, or those situations from the past, coming from a place where you don't need to or have to, from a place that you want to. So it's coming from a higher place already. And you're also in this new energy as this new version of yourself. So you're coming, if you do connect to energies from your past, from a healthy place and with a lot of boundaries, and also from a place where they can see that you've transitioned, you've moved on, and only those energies and that are also evolving and growing are allowed to connect with you. So just be aware that if you feel like, oh my God, like, am I going back am I being pulled back into my old life if I connect with these people or this energy or this place or this situation again? It's like, no, you already cut it off. You know, if you're in the energy where you're feeling, you might be not like completely have your foot in the new energy yet, like you're footing in the new energy. You might feel a little bit uncomfortable and shaky reaching back out, but you're in that new energy for sure. And that can't change. And so even if you're a little bit shaky and feeling uncomfortable and still finding your way of how to connect with energies in the past, it's going to still be coming from a completely new energy from you. And therefore, a completely new kind of connection with stronger boundaries in a healthy way, no guilt needed. You're not going to be pulled back. It's not going to stop your manifestations. It's not going to stop all the positive, forward-moving energies that you worked so hard to keep going. You're in the good. You're in the clear. Okay, so let's see. Nope, too many cards. What popped up was the Seven of Pentacles and the Sun card. It's so funny because like Spirit kept trying to pull out like more than 3 piles, and I'm like, you know, after 3 piles I might get a little bit exhausted, but like there's so many messages that want to come through. Yeah, you're very secure in the new energy, so everything that you do from now on is gonna be very positive. And even though you haven't found your footing yet, it's still gonna come off like a million times better than you did in the past, at least a 10 or 100 times better. 1,000 times better, yeah. The Sun card, yeah, you're in the light now. Nothing can nothing can be taken the wrong way. Your boundaries are already set. Nothing can cross that boundaries. You're in a very positive light. Everything you say or do, even if it feels a tiny bit awkward to you, is gonna come off like elegant to others. So just know that. All right, so let's see. Is there any like what shadow aspect came up immediately? What shadow aspect did you move past? Suppression. Express, don't suppress. Yeah, I feel like you might be kind of still holding yourself back a little bit because you're like, I don't know, like being so comfortably in your true authentic energy. It might be still a little bit uncomfortable around people who have known the old you or who might not be aware of your growth in recent months or years or whatever. So I would just be aware that like no matter how you express yourself, you're gonna come up with so much confidence and so much light that no matter what you say or do, it's gonna come off like so powerful because it's genuinely who you are. And if people don't like who you are, it's because they don't like a version of themselves, right? So like those people have things to work on, and they're gonna not be around you. They're going to want to be in their own thing, their own energies. But people who feel good about themselves or want to feel more comfortable being good about who they truly are. And then those who are actually very in a healthy place themselves are going to gravitate towards you. So nothing you can say or do is going to be taken out of context or be seen in a negative way. And the people who might see you in that way, they're going to be off in a corner in the shadowy corner with similar folks, you know? So like, don't worry about what you say or what you do. Okay, let's break out a dragon to prove this to you. Okay, knowledge. You just know too much now. You're just too wise. You're just too loving and giving. Like you just I feel like you can read people really well, read a situation really well. You know what you should do, you know what you think the best thing to do in a situation is, and you also know like if someone is feeling kind of down about a certain situation, what to say, what to do. You just intuitively know it. You don't even have to, like, I feel like you can run on autopilot at this point. You don't even have to show up. Your higher self can take over and just run you on autopilot in a lot of situations. I'm getting a lot of social situations, a lot of situations where you have to talk. So I'm getting right now, like, you might be kind of surprised even how you interact with others now in social situations, whether it's one-on-one or in small groups, big groups, or even publicly speaking in front of others. I feel like you might come off differently. It's just because your higher self is just going to take over. And so you don't have like, oh my God, so weird. Okay, the burden of being yourself. So I feel like for the beginning of you being in this new 5D energy, your higher self is just going to like put you on autopilot for a little bit while you get more. I'm getting, oh my God, the image I'm getting is like someone putting a child, like their own child or something, into like a futuristic autopilot car. It's like, of course, you're not going to let the kid drive the car. You can take every precaution, but like while they're in this, while they need to run this program, or while they need to run through this social situations, this event, this whatever a situation is, like let them get a feel for it, like get a full footing for it, like let them be kind of there, but we're gonna run them mostly on autopilot, right? So that's what I'm getting for this situation. Wow, that's so wild. Okay. All right, so what's the second message that your higher power, higher guidance wants to relay to you? Princess of Cups in reverse. Okay, I'm getting the, I'm getting the sense that something, you were too nice about something. Let's see what it was. Obsession. Release the chains of thoughts and free your mind. I feel like you were too nice about something you were holding on to for too long. Whether it's a person, people, I'm not going to say an idea. I feel like the idea you had was divine and very powerful. But you were too nice to people. I think you were too nice about not sharing enough of your vision, letting other people share their vision and not sharing enough of yours. Wow. Okay, so that's what's coming through. I feel like for a lot of folks with this new awakening happening, a lot of the folks in the old wave, like my wave and the waves before, were kind of like my wave, we've kind of finished our like initial spiritual awakening kind of cycle, and then now like the great awakening is happening with a lot of folks who are going to be awakening together. But yeah, I do feel like there's like this energy that you didn't share your visions enough, you didn't share your ideas enough, you were too nice to people about things. I'm getting now that you're going to come off like, yeah, but isn't it obvious that like this is the better route to go? Like I feel like a lot of people are kind of ingrained in like what programming they were given, which was like this dystopian view of the future, dystopian view of technology, AI, and people working together and global communities. And now it's our job as spiritual leaders to kind of show others what a good future looks like so we can work towards it. If we're constantly being shown negative visions of the future, that's what we're going to manifest, even if it's not what we want. And we need more positive visions of the future, positive visions of what living with a positive community would look like, positive structures. Like a lot of people like think and speak about these things, but they don't know how to practically make it come to life. And the people who have been practically making it come to life can't see the bigger impact and the spiritual concept behind it. So like it's like the two worlds, the spiritual and the people who are movers and shakers in the physical world need to come together to kind of make huge new waves in the way that we manifest. So you can see that happening in the collective with different people, but you can also see it within each individual. All right, so what else is happening? All right, let's see. What's some messages for you? Yeah, I think you've been too nice. And I think a lot of people kind of dismissed you for being delusional or being too optimistic, or, kind of in their own world or something. And then if you explain it to them now, it's like you have such confidence within you. It's like, why are you thinking in a negative way? You know, what kind of life choices did you make or experiences that you have that made you see the future so bleak, you know? Okay, the Page of Pentacles. So we have 2 pages here, the Cups and the Pentacles. Sorry, this is a Knight? Yeah, I think it's a Knight of Cups. Let me double check. No, the Princess is a Page in this deck. Because there is the bottom of the deck is a Knight of Wands. So, yeah, and I like how this page is a female too. It's a mermaid. So you can see that the feminine energy is leading now, the more spiritually grounded people, because there's a lot of people who were just kind of living in the systems, and that it's not their fault. Like, it's only like, I think 20% of people who have the ability, the strength, and the bravery and the courage, and something different about their brains that make them go against the grain, go against conventional thinking and the crowd, which is a huge part of our physical chemistry and biology, is that most of us naturally are meant to go with the crowd. And the few of us, the 20% of us that exercise being open-minded and thinking outside the box and pursue that, is very few. And then out of that 20%, like, even few of us continue to do that, pursue that, you know, kind of journey. So, like, you know, there is like a light that the universe, that source energy planted in our collective consciousness. And it's kind of like, whether it grows, whether they, you know, the light of us, the light workers, the light warriors within our collective fight for it or not, is like, you know, very much up to us. But you can see this like more feminine energy, more spiritual, more visionary, more creative, out of the box kind of thinking energy is coming onto the planet now. You're going to see that in all ways, not just in music, in our media, and the kind of stories we listen to in books and in movies and TV shows and everything. It's going to rewrite the way we see our future and what we see for humanity. We're entering the golden age. And so, you know, it's happened before and it's going to happen again. It's like going to be a new way of envisioning the past. If you've done the Tartaria rabbit holes, you're going to know it's going to be like that, but a modern version, a different version. And a lot of us already know it's going to look more sleek and silver, like the visions of the future that we saw as kids. So it's going to be a little upgraded version of more spiritually advanced society. The technology is going to be different, you know. Okay, so let's see what that might look like for you specifically. Ooh. The Sun card. Oh, I'm so happy. I don't see the Sun card in this deck often. Oh, wow. So much happiness. I love this sun. I love this sun, how it looks, in the image of the sun in this card. I love it so much. Okay. So the sun is 31. Yeah, 31 in this deck. Sun, power, spirit, insight, illumination. Wow. I see like an explosion of 5D energy. More bliss, happiness, and divine energy in your little pinky than you could have ever imagined in your life, that you've ever felt in your entire life. Oh my goodness. I'm kind of seeing like, you know, like is it the DMT world? Like the psychedelic world? I visited that realm through meditation. Very cool. Not through drugs. I saw a little bit on shrooms once, but I didn't take enough to like be fully in it. But through meditation, I've seen that realm. And that's what I'm kind of getting, is this kind of like you're bringing a whole different realm into this one that we shut off and haven't seen for years, collaborating with this realm, merging the frequency of those realms, merging with this one. We're bringing a whole different realm, way of seeing things, colors, way of physics into this realm. You're going to be that anomaly that people kind of can't help look at when you walk down the street. Nexus point. Whoa. I was not expecting something like that. That is supremely powerful. Whoa, and we're talking about like a next month. So I do feel like if I were to guess before I pull these two cards, like some sort of psychic gift is coming on, or some sort of creative gift. And this isn't like a past life one. This is like a different, like starseed one. Not even starseed. This is like a higher than the sixth dimension one. Because a lot of our starseed families come from like the sixth dimension. The Arcturians are even like ninth dimensional, but this is like beyond. Oof, it's been a minute since I've connected to those realms. I'm happy to be back. Okay, let's go. All right, so that's my guess. Let's see what Spirit has to say. Or this beautiful, powerful energy we're connecting to right now. Oh my God. Like, I am like loving it more than I can explain. Two cards off the desk, which is, and it felt kind of in like near future, but like not near future. So like not like even in this month, but like probably I'm getting like maybe 2-3 months down the line, which kind of tracks the rest of the reading. Feelings and subconscious, moon. So we get the sun and moon here. Wow. And the north node and of the moon. New life goal. Whoa. Okay. So it's going to be like night and day. And this kind of tracks with the rest of the reading. Where your new life purpose is just going to show up just organically. Wow, the sun under the sun card. I mean, wow, this is going to be so powerful. Powerhouse, I'm hearing. I can't even explain. You're going to be connected to the divine energy so strongly that you're literally going to be a saint here. Saint walking the earth. And it's just kind of weird because we haven't seen that kind of energy for a very long time. It's going to seem unusual. Alien-like. I'm getting there's going to be a time of confusion. There's going to be so much happening on the planet that like people are not going to know which thing is real, which thing is not, what's real, what's not, what to believe, what to not believe, or how things connect. Weird. I'm seeing so many different creatures and energies come through. Not even ET, but things from underneath the earth and just some other dimensions and things that have already been here, making themselves known. There's a merging happening with the frequency of this dimension and others. They haven't poked through, I'm getting, onto this planet for a very long time. They're excited. It scares some of us. Not as spiritual folks who understand, which is why we're here, to prep others. We all are going to be connecting with certain energies that we resonate with more, explaining it to the rest of the collective. We're just prepped because we went through this kind of spiritual transformation enough to connect with specific energies and beings, which allow us to bring their information and wisdom that was lost from ancient times back onto the planet. It just scares the collective that is currently awakening and those that are, not going to be staying with us here because they don't know what to make of it. It's a lot to handle at once. This time they're doing it differently because they have people who already are aware of this kind of energy or can accept it better So they took a portion of the collective, which is us, starseeds, and light workers, and those who, are open-minded and open-hearted and, kind of gone through some sort of awakening, were more open to it. So they know they only need this portion of the collective to bring this information on to this realm. We're past due, I'm hearing. Overrun. I'm getting it. They're mirroring it. Like, we've been overrun. Like, it's been past due. We meant to have this like for decades now, and so they're overrunning that program with their own. We gave them permission. We have the numbers. There's like a ton. It's like images of beings I've never seen before, and I've seen a ton in my days. Wow, like running over the hill. It's like cartoon characters, like not really because they're real, but it's just, it to me it's just like these fantasy type energies just running past it. I'm having a hard time coming to terms with what I'm seeing and the information I'm relaying right now, but I'm just gonna go with it because this is what I'm meant to be, a channel, right? Yeah, and so for this specific pile, I was connecting with a lot of those energies. They're benevolent, and more playful. They are the children. Okay, whoa, like the children of the forest type energy. They're the children of the forest. Holy crap! I'm just gonna keep going with this channeling, okay? They're the children of the forest. Well, that's how man perceived them in the past. As they became more integrated with the physical realm frequency, they started to see them as actual like children or elf-like children or more forest-type children instead of their true form. When they arrive again on this realm after a long time, they will show up in their true form, not like the form which the men in the past have seen them towards the end of their kind of connection to that aspect of themselves in that realm, those realms. They come from many, many different realms. It's kind of like the portals from all those realms are being opened and lifted all at once. I'm hearing it is wrong to assume that they were cut off from our end. They just didn't open it from their side. So all the people that were trying to work on opening these portals, they might have been able to do it for like a few seconds or nanoseconds, but like the reason they couldn't open those realms is because they refused to open it from their side. And they're all going to open it up at once and come through, overrunning the program that has been going on for too long. They don't mean to frighten us. In fact, a lot more folks will be more open to us and understanding, and they're going to be willing to work with us. It's just, I'm hearing they're sad to see a lot of us light workers not know how to work in the 5D energies. Like, they see us getting close and then like not really, it's like kind of seeing a child start walking and then keep falling and there's no one around to kind of help them, guide them, and like help them kind of walk. And so they can't help us. They see us in that way right now. And so they can't help it. And so they're going to come through, even though they like, said they weren't going to violate the free will thing. At this point, they have consent from enough people that they're confident that it won't violate anything. Because like they have to get some of the consent while they're here, which is difficult to do if people can see them, if that makes sense. Because they got enough numbers, but they need a little bit more, but they're confident that them being here is going to pull those numbers. I am seeing that they start off in places where it's more natural, where it's more just nature. It's easier for them, but it's also easier for them to kind of connect with us, and like it's easier for us to connect with them more on those kind of lands. But it's like it happens like very quickly, where because the earth is kind of craving this and has been wanting it for so long. It's not going to be long until like the entire Terra is transformed. Okay, that's it. That's all I got. I don't know. Maybe I'll pull a card for confirmation or something. That Two of Pentacles, harmonious change. Harmonious change and abundance. I love the Three of Cups. Abundance, harmonious change, and one last card. Death in reverse. So major transformation. I realized I only pulled one dragon, so I'm going to pull another dragon card. Rebirth. Wow, death and rebirth. Wow, see, synchronicity. It's meant to be that way. Second chance. It's going to be like a whole different life. Seeing things from a whole different way, to a whole different light. And finally, the Knight of Cups. The Three of Cups to the Nine of Cups. Like, extreme amount of happiness. We saw that with the sun a couple times. I think this message is specifically for those high frequency light workers, light warriors, and star seeds that have been pushing through more than most, because a lot of people got the call. Not everyone answered, or not everyone answered in a very profound way. And so you're being called, and you're going to see this happen now, but like more than that, probably sooner than the rest. It's just being in that energy is gonna you're gonna be a different soul. All right, pile 3, I hope you enjoyed your reading. If you did, I really appreciate a like or comment. And with that, I hope you have a beautiful rest of the day. I wish you much love and light.